Alrighty, so we're continuing the celebration of Magical Girl May, and what we're doing today is I'm illustrating myself, my roommate Allison, and my sister, Judgmental Critter, as magical girls. And it's really exciting. Technically, JC is like our cute mascot character. You'll see her in a sec. Because she's got her critter persona, and I got the idea from someone had done fan art for us for our birthday, and they had kept Critter as the critter, and it just felt like a magical girl mascot thing. It was really great, and I really appreciated that fan art. And so I wholesale stole that idea. But yeah, it's super exciting. What I'm also doing here is I'm using our critters that my sister has drawn for us to use during her podcast. I'm using those as like a basis to work around. So then I've got like a theme to work with. Allison's was easy. I've of course drawn us as magical girls before, this is not the first time I've delved into this prompt. But I feel a little bit bad because every time I draw Allison, she looks like this. I very much imagine her as a Cardcaptor Sakura-esque sort of magical girl with a very cute skirt and big bows. I always think of her like that. So every time I draw her as magical girl, she kind of looks the same every time. But I mean, it's so cute, and I can't think of it any other way. This is what Allison looks like to me as a magical girl. Myself, it's a bit harder. I don't know. There's no, there are some traditional magical girl shows you could try to emulate. Like, I could try to put myself in a Sailor Senshi outfit, like in Sailor Moon. That doesn't really feel right. And then beyond that, though, there's no hard set rules one must follow to do a magical girl. And I guess it's always harder to kind of analyze yourself. I like the idea that your magical girl outfit is like destiny, like it's perfectly tailored to your preferred fashion and also how you would fight. No one's ever really thought too much about how the outfits work for you, I don't think. But yeah, so it's always a little bit harder to design myself as a magical girl. I find I usually end up looking more like a bad guy, someone who would be a villain in the Magical Girl series. But maybe that's just me. I haven't drawn myself in a while either, so it was fun. Usually when I draw myself, it's for practicing anatomy or angles, because I don't care about making myself look good, so I can use myself as a guinea pig for study, I hope that makes sense. The way the critters are designed, by the way, is that what my sister does is she takes her two favorite animals and then also your favorite color and then mixes those all together. So for example, she is a hamster and a monkey. She didn't specify what kind of monkey, but that's fine. She ended up very much more like a hamster anyway. I don't draw animals very often. They're a lot harder for me. I just have a lot less experience drawing them. They've always been more my sister's wheelhouse, for sure. But I'm actually really happy with how she turned out. She's super cute, in my opinion, so I'm really happy with that. My critter is a cat and a unicorn. And you may notice that I have two horns, which is the antithesis of a unicorn. But if you pay attention, you have noticed that I tried it out with one horn, but it just wasn't looking right. My bangs are very much in the way. And I like the look of two horns more anyway, and also I'm the evil twin, so it works out. And they also kind of look like the cat ears, because, cat and unicorn. So I I managed to justify it to myself. I did give myself the idea, though, that if I were to be fighting, I would have, like, a sword that looks like a unicorn horn. So it works. I'm being accurate, I promise. The other thing about me is I felt it was important to get the sort of classical unicorn tail that my critters got. So, and that came through in my hair. It's a bit hard to see at this angle because I'm really good at my job. But what it is, it's like a really low ponytail. Kind of like Twilight Princess Zelda's braid. You know, like how it doesn't start until halfway down her hair. It's kind of like that, where it's like half down and then really low the ponytail starts, which I didn't even think about how, because I made it a really long ponytail, that means I've given myself hair that's like longer than me, which is unfortunately not accurate, but I'm okay with it. I've always been jealous of long hair. Mine's not short by any means, but every time I see people with like hair that's like gets below their waist or something, I'm always like, oh, I want that. It's just so pretty to me. So yeah, I'm happy, and then also I've got these like wrist ribbons. Those are emulating the stripes that is in my critter design, and my classic tired eyes because I'm tired. So Allison is a bunny and an owl, and that's perfect because I knew I needed to give her the big bow to kind of be like wings. She's got a very soft looking design, and so I tried to utilize a lot of soft, sort of bouncy elements in her design, like these hair accessories and the crinkles in the bow. So yeah, it was really fun. It's always fun trying Allison. So yeah, a bunny and an owl. Beyond that, the big thing was the bunny ears, which come through, I feel, in her braids. Allison does tend to wear dual braids an awful lot. Usually more often these days it's more just a single side braid. But I like drawing braids, so and you know, every time I draw them, they're always super long. It's impossible for me to draw short braids. And Allison's hair is very long in real life anyway. It's longer than mine, so, and I'm jealous about it. And so, you know, it's not actually inaccurate for them to be this long necessarily, but every time I do that, you have to do them one at a time like this, and it's kind of a pain in the ass, but the end result is so worth it, so I'm not even mad. I chose this. I did this to myself. The other big element is these ribbons that are like at that are fastening the braids. They're gonna turn black once we start color, and those are emulating the swirls in her ears that my sister has given her. So yeah, it's really interesting trying to sort of interpret my sister's art, because despite the fact that we're twins, and honestly, I learned a fair amount of how to illustrate by asking her. My sister caught on a lot quicker than I did, and so I had her teach me some stuff early on in our art lives. So while we come from a very similar starting point, over the years our art has deviated from each other quite a bit. So it's always really interesting trying to emulate my sister's art because it's so close to how I work, but still so different. So it ends up being just really interesting. Mostly, you can see it in color. My sister tends to use a lot more saturated color than I do. The purple that I'll be wearing is a lot brighter and warmer than I would usually go for. But I wanted to stay accurate to the critter designs. I didn't want to like tweak around with the colors at all. So it's really interesting because I don't know, because I never, you know, it's always good to try to deviate from your normal, and I do tend to stick to sort of unsaturated colors. But every time I'm prompted to work outside of that sort of that usual palette, you always learn something. So don't be afraid to try out a different color. Like I think it happens a lot with yellow. It can be easy to make yellow muted more often because it's a really bright color. Fun fact, it's the hardest color for the human eye to see. Tell that to your friends at parties. But don't be afraid to make yellow bright. Because I know it can be easy to be worried that it gets into like a highlighter yellow, like a safety vest shade. But never be afraid to push the boundaries of your artwork. The only place I really take liberties in terms of color for us are our eyes. Both of us do have brown eyes, but brown eyes are boring to color, in my opinion. I don't know, they can be very pretty, but I thought it would be more fun if I instead interpreted them as like brown-ish of a different color. So Allison's ended up being more of a red, and mine are very dark purples, so yeah, that's exciting. Eye colors are really interesting to me, especially illustrated ones. Because you can kind of do whatever you want. And for the longest time I was very resistant to having characters with not real eye colors. Like I wouldn't deviate from blue, green, or brown. And then one day it just clicked and I was like, no, yellow eyes are fun. Pink eyes are fun. So similar to my tip about saturation and not being afraid to deviate from your normal. Same with all your art. Never be afraid to try something new. You may not like it, and hey, now you know that you didn't like it. Get excited for this. I'm gonna spend a lot of time coloring in my like hair tie that's emulating my tail. Just to completely redo it, almost immediately. Oh, that's fine. That's the interesting part about recording myself when I draw. Is because you get to see a lot of my thinking. Because whenever you see like me zooming in and out a lot or going up and down a lot in the like on the canvas, that's me thinking. That's me wondering if I've done something stupidly and if I could do it better. If you watch enough of these drawn outs, maybe you'll be able to learn my tics, and you'll be able to catch on like, oh, she's about to change something, because you can tell because she zoomed in and out 5 times for no reason. Honestly, of the group, while I do feel I'm not great at drawing animals, Critter was the easiest one. It was really fun figuring out, like, the colors of things that didn't quite translate to my style, like her eyes, because I didn't want to make them just straight up black. So instead, I decided to not deviate away from this teal color that she is, and so I made them like a very dark green, actually. Also, so shout out to the heart-shaped spot on her. That is my sister's favorite thing on earth. Pay attention, if there's ever something she's illustrating that has spots on it, you can almost definitely find a heart somewhere in the spots. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if her actual Critter design canonically had a heart-shaped spot on the back. But I'm not sure. But not only is it, something my sister really likes to do, it seemed to fit the magical girl vibe a lot. I guess I took a little bit of inspiration from Wombat from Cute High Earth Defense Club love. Yeah. This was a really interesting one to do, because I've been very resistant to illustrating myself on the channel for a while. I don't know what made me get brave enough to do it for Magical Girl May. But I'm happy with how I turned out. Unfortunately, that's the thing. I don't know. So, I guess the deal with Magical Girls is the fact that since there are no hard set rules on their designs, it can feel a little bit tough to feel like you've properly emulated Magical Girls. By all means, I could say that this is just me and my roommate as anime characters, just vague, like shonen kind of a thing. Superheroes even, and it would still kind of work. I don't know. I think it's easier once you get to add sparkles. Spoiler alert, there will be sparkles in the background of this picture. Because it's my favorite thing. I don't know, but yeah, once you add like a background and kind of put all the sparkles in there, I think it helps a lot. But moreover, I think the best way to sort of show that a character is magical girl is by having them doing like fighting and magic and stuff. I guess a part of me regrets not doing that. Like, neither of us are doing, well, technically, I had figured Allison would be able to fly because she's part owl in her design. Like, she'd use the big ribbon as wings, which I'm pretty sure Cardcaptor Sakura does, and I'm pretty sure Allison told me that. So I may have just stolen that idea from Cardcaptor Sakura. Oops. But anyway, you know, neither of us are like shooting magic beams or anything. But I'm really happy with the designs we came up with. And also Allison's pose. She was the easier one to draw between the two of us. You probably noticed that I kind of struggled to put myself down in the sketching phase. I just knew already what I wanted to do with Allison. She's cute. And I knew I wanted her to be cute and be flying. So yeah. Composition is one of the harder things to kind of have be dynamic in an illustration, I feel. Because it's easy to draw a character just standing around in front of a background. But, you know, once you kind of learn what elements go into a pleasing composition, suddenly you become a lot more aware of it. That doesn't necessarily mean you always go out of your way to make a good composition. Count how many times I've drawn just a character standing around a background looking pretty. And those pictures are still fun and fine. There's nothing wrong with drawing that if that's what you like to do. But sometimes, you know, I'd like to sort of stretch my boundaries more with drawn out. I would like to do more full illustrations with like backgrounds and composition and everything. But hey, that's for the future, because Magical Girl May is dedicated to outfits, let's be honest. Because we all like outfits. Let me know what your favorite Magical Girl show is. I've seen a lot of comments across our videos throughout the month so far. I'm seeing a lot of Pretty Cure, seeing a lot of She-Ra, of course, Madoka Magica. I haven't seen anyone actually going for Sailor Moon. I think Sailor Moon's I'm not super familiar with it. Like, I definitely watched it when I was younger, but it's not like I'm a Sailor Moon super fan or anything. But I do think it's a really solid story. I would like to own all the manga. The problem is, I don't have thousands of dollars to drop on Sailor Moon manga. But yeah, don't be afraid to let me know what your most obscure favorite Magical Girl show is. That would be yeah. I'll pin whoever has the coolest reply. Yeah. Also, if you draw any magical girls as well, don't be afraid to, even if it's not like fan art of anything like I've drawn or anything, don't be afraid to tweet it at me. I'll probably like it on Twitter. So yeah, I just like celebrating Magical Girl May. My sister had recommended this idea months ago, like a long time ago, and I've been waiting for it basically since like December or something, just because it's such a fun idea. I love the idea of having a month dedicated to just celebrating something we all like. This is a fun thing. Jumping off to a different topic, I just added shine to the white parts of Allison's design that you can't see. And while doing it, I knew that's impossible to see, and it didn't stop me anyway. Sometimes you just gotta do something that you know no one will see in a picture. And here's the sparkles. Hell yeah! For Critter, she had made her magical girl sort of idea, like her as a magical girl thing at the start of the month, and I thought about maybe having her, like, drawing her like that, but I liked the idea of it being the classic Critter design, but I did want to incorporate the cute tail accessory, like that's how she wields her magic. Yeah, sorry, this one feels a lot more rambly than usual, but I hope you liked it, and I hope you're having fun, even if you don't like magical girls and you're not interested in like celebrating Magical Girl May. I hope you're just having a great old time this month because you deserve it. Yeah, go out there and draw something. Hey, just wanted to pop in and mention that I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons. You're all super awesome. Every single one of you that like I've interacted with, you're all super cool and nice, and I just really appreciate all of you. And I just thank you. Thank you so much for supporting me. I hope you all liked the video. It's a longer drawn out. I never know how I feel about that. I don't find myself rewatching my own drawn outs, mostly because, I don't know, because once I've seen it once, I don't need to watch myself draw it again, but I always think they're fun. I don't know. Do you like longer drawn outs? Would you rather them be shorter and quick, or do you like it when I take my time so you can kind of really see how I draw? Let me know if you get this far in. I wouldn't be surprised if you jumped out before now. But yeah, let me know if you like longer or shorter drawn outs. That'd be interesting to see A, what your answer is, and B, to see how many of you got this far into the video to learn about the secret hidden question. Alright, yeah, thank you all again.